Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. So as we know, the new season pass is due to be released tomorrow, and what I'm going to do for you over the next sort of week or so is get a video on all the tanks you could earn during this season. The first of which I've got a video on today, and that is the tier 7 Czech heavy premium tank, the Lioness Skoda T 45. This is a reward for the level 25 season pass tank. So if you do decide to buy the season pass for about 2,000 gold, once you got to level 25 you will be able to earn this tank. I mean, generally I always think the season pass for 2,000 gold is worth it, because you pretty much get that gold back as long as you're going to complete the season pass anyway. But what I've got for you today is the replay in the Skoda, because that is the first tank you will unlock during the season pass, and then I will get a replay on the other tanks which will be available for you as well. So before we get into the replay, I'll just go on. I've got two replays for you today. That's because this tank actually has two different options for the guns. You can either use the single shotgun, which got 220 alpha with the better DPM and slightly better accuracy, although you probably won't make much of a difference. Or you can use the autoloading gun, which is probably my preferred choice, where you get 3 shots for 220 alpha, but slightly worse DPM, which is to be expected because you do now have an autoloader. So that's the basics. Let's just get into the replay and we can sort of see what this tank can do. Okay, so on to the first replay, where we are top tier on Berlin. If you want to see the equipment and crew setup I'm using, you will see that at the bottom of the screen now. And you probably will notice that I am running powertrain and traction system as well as advanced optics. That's because, you know, tier 7 you can't actually run sort of stabilizer or reloader. So they were kind of like the best options, because I found this tank a little bit slow. But when you put those two tanks, you know, combine that with the powertrain and traction system, it actually makes it, you know, not too bad. It feels a lot more mobile. And this is, you know, the setup I've enjoyed the most. I mean, you could swap one of those out for events if you wanted, but I've had the most fun using this particular setup. So, like I say, we are top tier. When you're top tier in this tank, the armour can work. You know, when you're obviously fighting in the tier 9s and tier 8s, the armour's not going to be as so effective. But yeah, you know, top tier can be okay. So you see, we're pushing quite aggressively to try and take out this medium tank on the right hand side. We're kind of aware that the T20 is going to be putting shots into us here, but I'm just going to accept that I'm going to lose a bit of hit points in order to try and kill this one tank quickly, because it's going to make my life easier if we're able to take care of this Italian tank on the right. We do manage to block a shell. The Italian tank gets taken out. That gives us the freedom to push forward and then get in the position to start battling with this T20 in front of us, and we can try and sidescape off of this rock. The Dreadnought, which is one of the feared tier 7s, comes around and, you know, thankfully doesn't put a shot into us. Does take out our friend though, and we're able to put 1 shot into him in return. And now we're just going to try and side scrape off of this rock and try and get as many shots in as you can. You can see, you know, you can be quite effective side scraping in this tank when you are top tier. We are bouncing quite a few shots. Dreadnought comes around. I'm feeling the worst here. Thankfully, he does miss that shell though, which is good, which allows us to keep trying to get the punish on these tanks here. I want to try and get as much shots in as I possibly can to try and weaken up the pack in front of us. Because actually we're kind of fighting a 1v3 in front of us here. You know, if they were smart, they could all push together and just kill us. But thankfully for me, that's not happening. Dreadnought now bounces a shot, and what I'm going to do, knowing that he's on a long reload and he's quite low health, I'm going to try and focus him out here so I can put him on a 1 shot. So if he does that to me again, we're going to be able to finish him off. So now we've maybe put him on a 1 shot, maybe a 2 shot to be fair, because we've got the 220 alpha. But we have managed to sort of bounce 1,600 damage and get 2,000 damage of our own. Dreadnought does come round. We do get a shot in. This time he does pen us, but we put him low enough so when he rams us, he gets taken out there. And he's at least given us a little bit of cover to side scrape off of while we're battling this T20. And the friendly team are now coming behind the T20, so I'm just going to start moving on to try and get to the next bit of damage. Picking up the kill on the way, putting us on to 2,600 damage, 2 kills with just shy of 2,000 blocks. There's a KV2 on the right. We're going to just try and focus out this heavy tank, because the KV2 is a little bit awkward to shoot. You can see there are shots coming through the sort of field area, through the sort of F1 location. Guessing that's maybe, well, it could be a Hellcat left, because it's got fantastic camo. We're not going to spot that unless we get very, very close. Just waiting to lose my spot, and now I'm going to try and push the advance to try and get to the rest of the damage. It does look like this game is won. It's a 9 versus 4. It's just about getting as much out of this game as we can. I suspect the rest of the tanks after this KV2 is destroyed is probably in the field location. So I'm trying to make my way over there. You know, just want to finish this game as strongly as we possibly can. You already had a pretty decent game of 3,000 damage, but you know there is potentially more damage available to us. So we try and get a shot into the Hellcat on the move. We don't manage to get that shot in, but he does put one into us in return. Just trying to close the distance here to try and get there before our friendly team do. Because we can eat probably 2 shots off this tank if we need to. We bounce 1 shot there, and then we're going to try and get our 2nd shot in. Just, you know, like I say, we don't really care if he pens us at this point. Thankfully, we're kind of able to side scrape off that, you know, pillar in front of us, and we don't actually eat any damage. We do pick up the kill, bringing us to 3 kills, 3,500 damage, with only 1 lonesome medium tank alive. Can we get 1 more shot into this tank? Hopefully, we should have the opportunity to. We do. It pushes us back to 3,700. I'm kind of expecting him to get taken out here, but we actually was able to squeeze in the kill. Putting us to 3,800 damage with 4 kills and 3,000 blocks. Bring us then to the first replay with a single shot gun. But we have 1 more replay to come, and it is a really, you know, it is a big replay, and we're using the auto-loading gun. So let's move on now to the final replay video. Like I say, it's worth staying around for because the next one is the better of the replays. So let's move on. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then on Great Wall. Again, we are top tier, but there is 2 enemy artillery and 1 enemy light tank to deal with. And there's quite a few tier 7s in this matchmaking with no tier 5s. So we are initially just going to try and play the middle sort of area of the map. I like to try and contest or win the sort of central ground if I can. And it looks like a lot of our team are actually going this way with us. Which is quite makes a difference to your whole team. Just sort of go into sort of the 8, well, the sort of the 8-9 line on the top of the hill, which I never think is a great position for heavy tanks. You just don't really control a lot of the area of the map if you do just take that side. But it does look like we've kind of gone to one extreme to the other, and our whole team has gone this way this time. So we're just going to try and just push up and get into the battle. So you see this replay, we are using the 3-shot autoloader rather than the single shot. Now this is my preference on this tank. I just find it makes the tank a little bit more interesting to play. But as you can see from the first replay, both guns are viable, and it is quite nice that it gives you an option of what you prefer to play. I mean, with this Skoda tank, I'll talk a little bit more about it. You've got 7 degrees of gun depression. Like I say, top speed with my setup of 40 kilometers an hour, but that's because I'm running the powertrain and the traction system there. 194 penetration on your AP rounds, same with both guns. 250 penetration on your heat rounds. You've got a shell velocity of the AP of 995. Shell velocity of the heat of 600, which is quite slow. And then you've got 600 shell velocity on your HE rounds as well for 270 alpha and 44 penetration. You see, I don't bother taking any of the HE rounds on this particular one. So we kill that Skoda on our right hand side, and we now go on to reload, but it looks like there's a Tiger 131 which is coming around to sort of contest us here. So we want to try and get into positions that we can put our 3 shots into this tank. But the problem we do have is there's another heavy tank which looks like is coming from behind us. So we're hoping to just try and dump our 3 shots and then get out of here. We do put our 3 shots at the Tiger, which puts him almost half hit points there. But now we want to try and get out of there because we've got this heavy tank to our right hand side, which is a little bit awkward for us. But as our TD, our tank destroyer, moves up, we kind of don't really want to leave our tank destroyer to die. So we're thinking about trying to help him here, see if we can get a few shots into that heavy. But it's just not going to work for us here. We're just going to get farmed by this Tiger 131, and we're going to be caught in kind of an awkward situation. So we need to put a few shots in this Tiger 131 to try and back him off here as we try and escape, because we're in a dodgy situation there. We need to get back down. Not only that, the artillery can actually hit us here, but thankfully they're not paying attention to us right now. So we are falling back a little bit. It's quite a close game. We're actually losing this game at the moment, but I'm a little bit concerned about our base, so I don't want to go too far away. And we get 9 shot into our Tiger 131. Do damage to his ammo rack there, puts him onto a 1 shot. And now we're just trying to focus out that Tiger if we can, so then we can deal with the other heavy tank. Should be able to finish him off through his engine deck there, picking up our second kill, puts us to 2,200 damage. While we go back onto reload, we're just pulling back to safety there. And then, yeah, once we've got our reload off, we're going to hopefully try and put 3 shots into this enemy heavy tank here. Try and get one through the lower plate, get 1 shot in. Hopefully we can land all 3 here. We get the second shot in. Can we land our third shell? We do. Put him onto a 1 shot. Unfortunately for me, the fun police is now diverting their attention towards us. And that's kind of annoying because I just want to be able to kill that 1 shot heavy tank so we can try and go back and actually defend our base. You can see our base is under some threat now. But I want to get rid of this heavy tank because otherwise this is going to be a nuisance for our team behind. So I'm going to try and push forward and see if we can finish him off. I'm hoping that the artillery doesn't just punish us, but that's not looking so well. We do lose a chunk of hit points to the artillery there. Kind of annoying, but you know, it's just part of the game. So we need to just confirm the kill on this heavy tank here. I'm trying to do it quickly because we don't have much time. We do have to eat a shot for it, which is not ideal, but I didn't want to just sit there waiting to try and get that shot in, because you've got to remember every moment I was trying to shoot him, the artillery was looking to punish us. So we just need to try and leave now and go back to defend our base. So at this point in the game, we're on 3 kills, 3,000 damage, and it is an 8 versus 10 scenario with 2 enemy tanks starting to come into our cap circle. So we need to get back to stop the enemy team from capping us out. We do have a friendly tank destroyer, I believe, which is in front of us, trying his best to actually defend the base. He actually has a good game as well and comes in very helpful to us, you know, in order to try and win this game here. So 2 enemy team are in the cap, so we've got 40 seconds left on the clock. You know, it's okay, you know, we don't need to panic yet, we're close enough to get the reset. Annoyingly for us though, a pretty much full health Tiger 131 comes around the corner. That's a problem because the Tiger 131 has fantastic DPM. And that Tiger 131 is stopping us from now to poke and get the resets on the cap circle, that's our biggest problem. If it wasn't for this Tiger 131, I could easily, you know, poke, get the resets and not have to concern ourselves too much. But with this Tiger 131, it's very, very awkward. But we're going to get capped out at this point. I've just got to gamble it now and just hope we can get the resets. We do get one of the resets in. We do get the second resets in. And thankfully, we are still alive. But by the skin of our teeth, we are ammo racked with 161 hit points left. So we need to pull back round now. Thankfully, our friendly Nash on there kills the Tiger 131, which, you know, makes, you know, our life a lot easier here. And now it's just this 1 medium tank which is retreating. Unfortunately, I see I am ammo racked, so I've got a very long reload and I can't take, you know, my 1 shots to pretty much all the tanks left now. So we've got to be very, very careful here. We can't just go swing right round and get taken out. But I would like to take him out before he retreats. But like I say, I'm a 1 shot to the tank, so it is a bit awkward. It's now 4 versus 4, and we've got 4 kills, and it's still a very, very close game. But from our memory, we think the artillery was shooting us from the sort of 8-9 line up on the hill. So I want to be careful here because I'm concerned if I get spotted by this medium tank, but the artillery is going to be pre-aiming this location and they'll be able to get a shot into us. So this is why I decide that I'm going to turn around and go back the other way, because I'm nervous about pushing that way. You know, we're a heavy tank, you know, good chance we're going to get out spotted by that medium or a tank destroyer remaining, and we just figured that that's not the best path for us to go with, you know, the limited hit points we have left. So we're going to try and go back into the middle ground. We then spot the last remaining tank destroyer. Well, I should say get spotted by a friendly heavy tank, and he is a 1 shot on this Emil. So I'm hoping to come around and take out this Emil. I just need our heavy tank to try and stay alive. We'll get behind him and kill this heavy tank. Kill the tank destroyer, and then that will put us into a sort of winning position in a, you know, have the tank advantage then. Unfortunately for me, the Emil does kill our friendly KB2 heavy tank, so the enemy team do now have the tank advantage. I need to try and push and kill this Emil before he escapes, because Emil's going to have some very decent concealment values, and it'll be difficult for us to spot him if we don't kill him now. But we do kill him, pick up the kill, and now we're trying to pull back so we don't get shot by the artillery if he is, you know, turning for our attention. And we got the 5th kill there, putting us to 4,000 damage and 1,200 block now. And at this point, I don't know if I don't know where the medium tank ran to. Like, he could have ran and gone straight up the 8-9, or we could have been like, coming around this middle road and sort of about to be coming around this corner, knowing that I've just killed that enemy tank destroyer. So I decided to be a little bit patient and pull back into this corner. It's mainly because I don't have the hit points. I'm so low hit points that I need to catch this tank out. I don't want to be, him spotting me, because then it's going to be a problem. So I wait a little bit just to see if he's going to come around this corner, but that doesn't happen. And with our team now pushed up to where they are, I'm guessing that's not the way he's gone. So I'm going to start to try and push my advantage and maybe come to the base, because there might be an enemy artillery still sat there potentially in their spawn. So we can see if we can kill that and get a bit more damage. So far, we're, like I say, with 4,000 damage, 5 kills. Still got an opportunity to pick up the Top Gun or even the Radleys if we're lucky. But we're going to see if we can try and pull around now and just come round to the base. So far, our friendly tank destroyer does spot one of the enemy artilleries there, and down the A5 position. Interestingly, the medium tank hasn't been spotted yet, but he does now get spotted. So we now know where 2 of the 3 tanks remaining. I suspect, unfortunately, our TD is going to be in an awkward situation here now, facing those tanks. So all I can do is try my best to try and catch up as quick as I can. Unfortunately, A44 does kill our friendly friend there in the Nashon, but it does look like the Nashon has put the medium tank onto a one-shot, and that is going to make my life a lot easier, because if I can kill the medium tank, there's a good chance I can outplay the artilleries. But obviously we've got to be careful, because we are shotgun material right now. Thankfully, this artillery wasn't paying attention to us, and this is where the autoloader is handy. They're able to put the 3 shots in and just completely kill that tank. Picking up our 6th kill, putting us under 4,500 damage with 2 kills remaining. One is the one-shot medium tank. We are on reload here, and hopefully we can just, we're both a one-shot to each other. It's just who can get that kill shot in. So we're going to see if we can get this shot in. We do land the shot, and that is fantastic, putting us onto the 7th kill with 4,500 damage. Now it's the 1 enemy artillery left. Now, I have to be careful I don't get shotgunned, because we have so little hit points here. We decide to go for a full reload. I'm trying to let my teammate know, because the artillery's doing a smart thing, pushing to try and spot him for us, because he's got the hit points. But I'm trying to just wait till I've reloaded, because I don't want to risk getting shotgunned by this artillery. I need to wait till him ideally fires, and then we can try and pick up the kill here. So we've got into the cap, or our friendly team's in the cap circle, which is going to force the artillery into us here, and that's ideal. I was just trying to stay around this rock, so maybe if he comes around I can get a shot into his trap wheel and trap him in place. But I'm also pulling forward just in case he's sitting on that hill location, and if we can spot him trying to come in. We do spot him and we land 1 shot. Now we're trying to pull back so we don't want to get taken out by this artillery. We're going to try and hug the rock for safety here while we try and lose our spot. Because like I say, we're very cagey here because we're on so low hit points. But ideally I need this Panther 2, this artillery to fire. If he fires, we've got to kill. And he does fire, and now we know he's dead because he's not going to reload in time. We just take our time, aim these shots, and we're going to pick up the kill. And we do manage to pick up the 8th kill, and brings us an end to the game, and we go on to have a really decent game there. So what do? We finish up with 8 kills, 5,000 damage, 2,400 base XP, 1,200 blocks, and we get the medal for killing the 2 artilleries as well, and the high caliber. So that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like, please remember to like and subscribe, because it really helps out the channel. And I'll be getting the replays in the rest of the season tanks in the next coming week. So thanks for all your support. As always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!